Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for today's video because we are playing around with some of the new makeup that I recently picked up but just haven't had an opportunity to play around with. We are playing with Unearthly Cosmetics, the Gargoyle palette, as well as some other things that I picked up from Sephora. So before we jump into it, if you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell for notifications, new videos. If you like this video, make sure to get a big thumbs up. But if you want to see how I got this look and what products I used, just keep watching. Okay, you guys, I have a couple things in front of me that I'm really excited to try out. And it's been a minute since I've filmed because my schedule's been a bit chaotic. So I wanted to take the time, sit down, play around, do something colorful. And that is the Unearthly Cosmetics Gargoyle palette. If you saw my shopping haul or kind of like my unboxing, this I think arrived in the last box when Luke sent me some of the stuff that I had sent to the house. This color story is gorgeous. I'm so excited to play around with this. There are some neutral brown shades, which I could stay in my comfort zone and play around with, but the multi-chromes and the shimmers look so beautiful and breathtaking. I'm excited to play around with these, swatch them, see what they look like, figure out a way forward, and then looking at the few items that I have in front of me, like the new Patrick Ta foundation, the Rare Beauty powder. Some things have been out for a second and I just haven't had the chance. So I'm really excited to dive in and see what they're all about. Let me go ahead, swatch these, and we'll dive in. Okay, you guys. These swatches made me second guess if I actually looked at this palette. When I first looked at it, all I could really see was the blue eyeshadows and the blue shimmers because it's bold and beautiful, and that's what you see is that bottom row. But I don't think I really saw this palette. There's a beautiful like sagey shade in Grim Morning, which is kind of that sage green. You've got Gothic Grace, which is kind of a pale pinky tan. And then the two shades right there, the shimmers, Eerie Echoes and Awaken. So beautiful. The shifts in the glitter are breathtaking. But then you still have that really pretty shade Menacing, which kind of is it looks red in the pan. When I first look at it, it looks red. On my arm, it looks like a bronzy brown. And then you still have some lighter shades like Mystic Stone and Forgotten Fortress, those lighter, paler purples. And then you get into the deep, dark, luscious blues. And then you have a really nice matte black. So I look at this and I was like, did I pay attention to the color story? The shades are breathtaking. I'm really excited for this because I feel like this is going to be a good palette for winter, fall. I have that top row with the matte shades and the shimmers where I could do something very spicy and pumpkin spice vibes, if that makes sense. But then I can do the very cool and rich tones of the blue. And then you have the purple in the middle. I'm very confused as to what I want to do today. I thought I was going to be doing something blue. I kind of want to do something spicy. So especially with the sweater on, it is cooling down here. It is sweater weather. So I'm not sure. But I do know that I was leaning towards the blues. So let me go ahead, clean off my arm, prep my eyes, and figure out a way forward. Okay, you guys, I'm really excited for this. I'm going to go into the shade Ancient Spire. I'm going to go on my fluffy crease brush, kind of dilute it down just for in the crease in the outer V. And it would be really easy to just stay in my comfort zone and do neutrals, but I think I'm going to mix it up a little bit. There's some shades in here that I'm just kind of like, ooh, I want to play around with those. So I think we're going to do that and play around with not just the neutral shades, but some pops of color too. Let me know if you guys have picked up this palette or if you're passing on it. I also feel like I've been so busy that I just haven't had a chance to film. I want to say it's been like a month and some change since I filmed. I just realized I forgot to turn my fan off. So if you guys hear it in the beginning, that's what that was. I forgot to turn it off. It's nice enough and cool enough out that it shouldn't get too crazy and I shouldn't need the heat. All right, I think we have a good base. I'll probably add more in later as I'm like building it up. And I'm going to go into the shade Perched. This one I'm going to start out on my fluffy crease brush and then switch once I have a good base. I've always got to wiggle in the inner area because of the skipping that I get because of my eye wrinkles. If you have the same issue, just kind of wiggle the brush back and forth, or just little swirly circles, and it'll help alleviate that. All right, now onto my compacted smudge brush. I really like this shade. I have been loving the I Need a Warm from Natasha Denona. This is giving me that same like smoky brown vibes. All right. And then fluffy grease brush, no additional product, just on the outer edges. I'm gonna go into the shade Menacing. This is the one that I said looked like it was a coppery brown, and because I still want to do something in the middle, I think I'm gonna use my pointer finger, which I don't usually do. Ooh, look how beautiful that is. And right here on this edge, I'm gonna place it. Not completely in the outer V, but I'm just tapping it into place. Oh, that is so foiled and luscious. And I'll finesse it with the brush here afterwards. Now I'm gonna go into the shade Dismal Sky. This one I'm gonna pick up on my middle finger. These two together are gonna be so pretty. And right here. And I'm going back and forth on the shades to just kind of blend them in. And then into the shade Eerie Echoes. This one I'm going to pick up on my ring finger and place it right here in the inner corner. All right, so no extra product on this brush. It's just a dry brush. I'm going to kind of finesse the inner corner to kind of smooth it out because it did get quite a bit of product in there, and just kind of bring it up in through the crease, and then a little bit tap, 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 and then bop, bop, bop. All the sound effects, you guys, all the sound effects. That looks quite interesting. I'm intrigued to see what it looks like at the end. Sometimes it can be nice and pretty, and then other times you're like, what the heck were you doing? But I really wanted to use these two shades together. Okay, you guys, I already primed my skin because I have a new foundation, and this is the Patrick Ta Major Skin Hydra Luxe Luminous Skin Perfecting Foundation. That is a mouthful. What happened to like short, compact names? I got mine in the shade Tenant Neutral. This is some hefty packaging. It is glass, and it's got some heft and weight to it. But I'm really excited to dive into this and try it. I think I got my right shade. The Sephora app has not been like my favorite as far as figuring out my shades. It could also be the foundation lines don't have the shade that I want, or they don't compare. I don't know. I have a couple different foundations that I tend to color match with, like my NARS Light Reflecting in Valarius, or my Dior Glow foundation, shade 2.5 neutral. Like, I have my favorite ones to shade match with. Some of the foundations aren't shade matching. So I'm hoping this is the right shade. It looks like it might be. We'll see. So nice and fresh. I haven't tried it yet. It is a little liquidy, which is fine. It looks a little light, but the days that I'm pale, or if I need to deepen it up, I could also probably mix it. It's not a horrible shade match. It's just not if I was self-tanned. Any products I don't talk about on camera will be linked down below with clickable links. I do make a small commission off of it, so if you choose to go that route, I really appreciate it. So that was a very tiny pump, and my skin is evened out. It's not perfect, like there's still some redness showing through. There's nothing wrong with that. But I can see some of my spots as well. I'm interested to see if I go and kind of do another layer. It also doesn't need to be perfect. I do contour, I do blush. So those things will also add to the makeup. Sometimes having your spots and not pimples, freckles showing through is not a bad thing. All right, so with foundation, without, you can see the redness. This is just evened out, nice and glowy. Okay. I do like how my skin looks. It's not, so if you get too matte, then for me, my lines tend to show through. This just looks like natural skin. Like it's evened out and I just did my skincare, and all I need to do is just like press some powder in. All right, let's go ahead and do this side. You guys, my skin is so glowy right now. It looks nice, but I won't know till I set it. And I do have a new setting powder, which kind of goes against what I usually do. All right, let me go do some contour and bronzer. I'll be back because I have a blush and a powder. Okay, you guys, this was sent in one of my subscription boxes. This is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin. This is the Rose and Brunch blush one. I have been wanting to try this so bad. I may have gone in a little heavy-handed, but we're still cream on cream, so we can fix it if we need to. We still have powder, so it will tone down a little bit. That is a really pretty shade. Don't know that it's like the vibe of the eyes, but it's fine. But whatever intensity I do over here, I need to do over here as well. That's really pretty, and it went on so easily. Also, be careful. You can accidentally go too heavy-handed, which is what I did. But we'll see how the powder does. It'll probably tone it down a little bit. And then I picked up the Rare Beauty Tinted Pressed Finishing Powder in the shade Porcelain. This one I was going back and forth on. I was like, do I want translucent? Do I want porcelain? Do I want a little bit of color? I went with porcelain. I went back and forth, but it's fine. Everything's fine. So I'm going to go in with my little powder puff. Pat out the under eye. Make sure we have no creasiness. Oh, that mattified so nicely. That's... wow, okay. I'm interested to see what it looks like if I do it with a powder brush. See, I don't like that. I don't tend to do my powder with a powder brush. It's because right here, my like upper lip was starting to like perspire. I kind of pulled it off. Yeah, I prefer it with a powder puff. We all have our preferences for the tools that we use and how we apply products. There's no judgment here. And I need to press out my lines right here because they're trying to peek through. And see, Porcelain did tone down the blush a little bit. Okay. Okay, you guys, we need to go ahead and finish off this eye before I can do everything else. So there's part of me that wants to do the blue underneath, but then I also remember the last time I did that, I kind of regretted my decision. So I think I'm going to stick with the browns. I'm going to go into the shade Ancient Spire. Pick this one up on my little compacted smudge brush. Into the shade Perched. And the larger compacted smudge brush for this outer V area. I'm not going too far in because remember we have that little pretty shade Menacing. I'm really liking how this is turning out. Now for the inner corner, I'm thinking I want to use one of the shades that's in here. I'm going to use the shade Awaken. Oh, it's so icy. I really like that. Brow bone is going to be a little bit different because I want to use a highlighter on that. But let me go do highlighter, brows, lips, and mascara, and I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, this is the final look, and I'm really liking how my makeup turned out. The lips, I used the shade Whirl from MAC, their lip liner, and then I was also sent a little sample from Charlotte Tilbury. This is 90s Pink in their lipstick. At first I looked at it and I was like, ooh, is that a little too cool toned? I think it came together. Now, let's talk about the eyes. The shade, I want to know, are you guys picking this up? The color story is so beautiful. I love the neutral shades in the top, the blues in the bottom, and then the purples right here. I feel like I have lots and lots of options throughout fall and just playing around with this palette in general. I could stick with this quad right here, which is very neutral and light. I could probably use that for work. Maybe not the multi-chromes. But the shades in here, I feel like I have lots of options. I do like that I was able to do something neutral with that pop of color right through here. I feel like for me, it's kind of a versatile palette because I lean towards nudes, but I like neutrals. I lean towards neutrals, but then like to have that little zhuzh of color like I did today. Let me know your thoughts. Are you picking it up? Are you passing on it? Is it just not your cup of tea? Now, my skin, I was looking at it and I like how my skin looks, but there are some areas where it kind of fell into my lines, which I'm used to. That's not anything different than what I normally get sometimes with foundations. It is a serum-y type of foundation, the consistency and how liquidy it is. But it also can be a difference between adding in a powder that I'm used to. My Huda Beauty, my Givenchy, they definitely help seal in my foundation and not go into my lines. It could also be that the powder is not meant for this foundation. So switching those up, trying them out, I'll probably try a different powder with the foundation and see what combinations I like. Whereas the powder, it could be different on other foundations. So we'll play around, we'll see what the combinations are that work. And then of course the Danessa Myricks Beauty Balm. I love this, the Yummy Skin. It is so, so good. I like how it was deeper and then we put the powder on and it just kind of subdued down. Let me know your thoughts. Are you picking up any of these products? Are you holding off for right now? Were you not going to get them and maybe you changed your mind? Let me know in the comments. We'll have that conversation. I'm really excited to know your thoughts. But you guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell for notifications of new videos. If you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. But until my next video, you guys, bye. I'll see you in the next one.